Hey everyone. Look, we all know that holding on to stress just creates massive tension in our bodies, right? Well, in today's explainer, we're going to unlock a really fascinating, structured way to literally discharge that pent-up energy. We're diving into something called conscious catharsis, specifically through a practice known as pillow bashing meditation. It's a game changer, for sure.
Okay, let's dive right into this. We've got a great roadmap for this explainer today. We'll start with the actual cost of suppressed emotion, define what pillow bashing really is, how to prepare for it, walk through the 5-phase process, cover some mistakes to avoid, and finally, look at the actual science of silence.
So, Section 1, the cost of suppressed emotion, the physical toll of buried feelings. Think about our modern lives for a second. We are constantly intellectualizing our feelings, distracting ourselves, or just completely burying them under a massive pile of daily responsibilities. Which brings up a really direct, kind of uncomfortable question for you. Where does your unexpressed emotion actually go? Because, spoiler alert, it doesn't just vanish into thin air. It creates literal, measurable, physical energy right inside your body.
And you can literally feel this repression physically manifest in your physiology. Think about it. Your jaw tightens up, your shoulders harden like actual rocks, your stomach ties itself in knots, and your breathing, it becomes incredibly shallow. As the source material points out, your body literally remembers unfinished emotions. All that trapped energy acts exactly like a pressure cooker. It's just sitting there, quietly driving anxiety, creating severe body tension, and eventually, it leads to unpredictable relationship explosions or really toxic passive aggression. Not great.
Moving right along to Section 2. What exactly is pillow bashing? We're shifting the paradigm on anger.
Here is the core definition we're working with from the source material. Pillow bashing meditation is an active emotional release practice using a cushion to physically express and discharge suppressed emotions safely. Now, I want you to really notice that key word there, safely. The whole goal of this isn't to go crazy. It's to release that built-up pressure without hurting yourself, without hurting anyone else, and absolutely without destroying your living room.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how sharply the practice distinguishes conscious catharsis from just, uncontrolled rage. People very often confuse any form of physical emotional release with just, throwing a giant tantrum. But there is a profound difference here. Conscious catharsis, that requires deep awareness. It's about safe, symbolic expression and highly intentional emotional discharge. Uncontrolled rage, on the flip side, is about artificially acting out potential self-harm or, worst of all, violence toward real people. So in this meditation, the goal isn't just to be angry. It's to safely release the stored physical energy of that anger, so it literally no longer lives inside your muscles.
All right, Section 3, preparing for conscious catharsis. It's all about setting the boundaries.
Okay, setting this up correctly is honestly half the battle. You absolutely need a highly private, safe space that is completely clear of any sharp objects. Seriously, a bedroom with a mattress or some thick cushions works perfectly. You'll want to wear loose, really comfortable clothing so you can move around and breathe deeply. Give yourself a hard time limit. Anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes is the sweet spot. And most importantly, give yourself explicit mental permission to feel whatever comes up without judging yourself. Oh, and just a quick aside from the sources, if you happen to be pregnant or you're dealing with severe heart or blood pressure conditions, maybe recovering from a recent surgery or experiencing active psychosis, it's best to seek professional guidance rather than doing this intense physical release on your own.
Now for the masterclass. Section 4, the 5-phase meditation process. This is your structured guide to release.
Let's walk through the first 3 active phases. Phase 1 is grounding and breathing. For about 2 to 5 minutes, you're just going to sit or stand, close your eyes, take some very slow, deep breaths, and calmly observe where the tension is living in your body right now. Don't try to change it, just watch it. Then, Phase 2 is awakening emotional energy. For the next 3 to 5 minutes, you gently use internal prompts like, what really hurts, or what is deeply frustrating me? And the trick here is, you don't overanalyze the answers. You just allow the physical pressure of those memories to bubble up to the surface. And then, the energy shifts dramatically in Phase 3, physical expression. For 5 to 15 minutes, you grab that pillow and you use your hands, your fists, or open palms to hit it repeatedly. You allow sounds, tears, shouts, growls, or even just spontaneous laughter. You completely 100% uncensor your expression.
So, the absolutely crucial point here, highlighted in the source material as a non-negotiable rule, is this: never hold the breath. Breathing prevents emotional blockage. It is incredibly common for folks to unconsciously tighten up and literally stop breathing when they start striking the pillow. You must exhale strongly with every single strike. I really can't stress that enough. This continuous flow of breath is what actually moves the emotional energy safely out of your nervous system.
Stop. Seriously, imagine you're at the absolute peak of that intense physical expression, and suddenly you cease all movement instantly. This dramatic halt brings us directly into phase 4.
Let's see how this sudden halt builds into the really profound final stages. Phase 4 is the sudden stop. You drop the pillow immediately. You sit or lie down, close your eyes, and you remain absolutely perfectly still for exactly 2 minutes. This sudden halt, that's where the magic actually happens. It allows your body to rapidly reorganize all that chaotic energy. You might feel this intense tingling or vibrations or just a sudden, vast sense of spaciousness. And then we flow into phase 5, relaxation and observation. For 10 to 15 minutes, you just lie down comfortably and do absolutely nothing. Zero effort, zero control. You simply witness the deep, silent, meditative space that has just opened up inside of you. This right here is where the deepest benefits of the entire practice fully integrate.
Which brings us to Section 5, Common Mistakes to Avoid. We want to keep this practice authentic.
Now, the sources outline a few pitfalls that can definitely bottleneck this meditation. First up is acting or faking the emotion. Authenticity matters way more than dramatic intensity. So if nothing happens at first, don't force it, just continue consciously. Second, as we just hammered home, is holding your breath. Don't do it. Third is self-judgment. If you feel silly doing this, and let's be honest, you probably will at first, just acknowledge it and gently let that feeling go. Fourth is overdoing it. Doing this super intensely every single day can become completely exhausting. Like 2 to 3 times a week is plenty for most of us. And finally, skipping the silent phase. Without that 10 to 15 minutes of pure stillness at the very end, this entire practice turns into mere emotional discharge, completely losing its power as an actual meditation.
All right, final section, Section 6, the science of silence, how we are actually rewiring the nervous system.
And this brilliantly illustrates the why behind all of this. Under the hood, an incredible physiological shift is taking place. In a suppressed state, your nervous system is essentially locked in chronic fight-or-flight mode. You've got constant muscular tension and these repetitive emotional loops just chewing up your mental energy all day long. But post-catharsis, after consciously expressing and discharging that pent-up energy, you drastically shift into parasympathetic recovery. It's like flipping a switch. You regain emotional fluidity, the constant mental noise just drops away, and you experience deep, genuine calm. By physically exhausting the tension, you actually create a literal physiological gap where spontaneous awareness and inner stillness can just naturally arise.
Which leaves us with this final, really vital question to ponder today. What are you holding inside that's ready to be released? Think about it for a second. Think about the heavy, unexpressed energy, the frustrations, or the lingering stress you might be carrying around in your shoulders or your jaw right this very minute. Pillow bashing meditation offers a structured, scientifically grounded, and remarkably safe way to transform that physical heaviness into profound clarity and spaciousness. It is just an incredibly powerful tool for navigating modern stress. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this inspires you to find a safe space, set a timer, and finally give yourself permission to just let it go.